Hello, and welcome back.
Hi.
To a couple of creatives.
Hi.
Wow, that was weird. If this is your first episode, I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Chris.
And we are a couple that works together and is gonna get married. Oh, we're engaged.
Are we not in love?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So we run a video production company. And we also have separate YouTube channels and Instagram accounts. We teach video and photo tutorials and also some inspirational content, travel content. Am I missing anything?
No, you nailed it all on the head. That was pretty much it.
So today, as two people who are self-employed, we thought, what else are we going to talk about, really, other than COVID-19?
It's very topical right now.
Well, it's just that I feel like we can't come onto the podcast and keep talking about other things when, like, it's the elephant in the room and we just have to address it before we can move on. And
at this point, we have 3 months more of this.
Potentially more. Yeah.
Like, we were trying to avoid it when they were like, it might be like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not 2 weeks anymore. Yeah. It's definitely a while.
So it's taken us some time to process this, as well as you guys.
A month, I would say. I think we're finally
in the acceptance stage. I still, I had a little bit of anger the other day. I was a little pissed. I was, angry at COVID for ruining my life, but that's a different story. But it didn't ruin my life. I mean, you get it. It's interrupting my life.
It's giving us a moment to pause and reflect on the things that matter.
But yeah, I'm out on the other side of it, and I'm having some positive thoughts, like that little voice Chris made.
Yeah.
But I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to all of you who are working for yourselves or want to work for yourselves or have whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you do have a full-time job, or you're working part-time somewhere, you're in school, or
you have a side hustle, whatever it might be.
Yeah, maybe you're one of the amazing healthcare workers right now working on the front lines. If working for yourself, being an entrepreneur in photo or video is something you want to do, then we wanted to not just share some of the experiences of the people in our creative club, in our Patreon, but Chris and I wanted to give our opinion on how we see COVID-19 affecting photographers, videographers, and creatives. But I think it's important to, we're all very aware of what's happening with us. We're very in tune to what's going on with ourselves and in our own lives. And we've had a lot of time to reflect on that. But and we're getting a lot of news about the really harsh side of COVID-19. But I think it's valid and important to hear from people just like us and how they're doing and how this is affecting them. So we actually asked people from our Patreon, from our creative club, to send in some videos or write comments and tell us how they're doing, how their lives have changed from COVID-19. And yeah, we just wanted to share that and talk about it, see if we could provide you guys with any suggestions.
Because I think there's a lot of people going through similar experiences, both on extreme sides and obviously lesser impacted sides.
And I think if you hear something today that you feel applies to you, or someone said something and you're like, oh, wow, that's literally me right now, there is some comfort in that. You're not alone. So that's the point of this. It's not to be dreary and negative and to talk about how much COVID-19 sucks. We all know it's horrible.
Yep.
But yeah, we just want a safe space to talk about how it's affecting everybody and how Chris and I are guessing this is going to turn out for you entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, just our insight from our experiences and what we think. So why don't you kick it off with...
Okay, so our first comment is from 80. I really hope that's how you pronounce your name. Sorry if it's not. So 80 says, having to move out to make sure my parents didn't get it, which is COVID-19, was tough because the retail company I work for does online shopping as well, so people can home deliver. And I feel at times it's affecting my creativity at home as I don't feel like I can do much. But when I do, I feel pooped from work to be creative. It's a constant loop of emotions and feelings.
I mean, I think we've all been there.
Yeah. It is, the toughest part is knowing you can't see your parents. And I think moving out away from your parents was definitely a good decision based on your job. But yeah, it's hard. I think what Chris and I are trying to do and what seems to be working for us is making sure we get outside every day.
Yeah, that's huge.
Despite the fact that you feel tired, especially because the weather's getting nice. So go to a place where you can be at a safe distance from someone else. And that's going to help a lot. Like, start something new. Like, I started yoga, and that's been really helpful for me. You don't have to push yourself to work right now. Don't feel like, oh, if I have any free time, I have to be doing photo or video.
Yeah.
Get yourself feeling good and into a new routine. And then you can get back to that when you feel energized for it. You can't force yourself.
Yeah, or find an aspect of it that doesn't feel like work. Like, for example, recently, obviously for Lizzie and I, YouTube is a full-time job. So when we do it, it's the best job in the world. It's still work. It's still laborsome. It still requires a lot of energy. And there's times when you're like, oh, I just got to make a video to finish this video. So what I did is I found an aspect of photography I'd never explored before. That was miniature photography. And it really excited me. So I found all these little tiny people, bought them, learned the craft, started practicing. And it was really fun. I would show people the photos afterwards. They would laugh and smile. And I was like, oh, this is a really unique style of photography I've never explored. And it excited me to get out of bed in the morning to work on it. So don't always think that you have to be doing the same style of creative, whatever it might be that you're working on that is your creative outlet. Like, find an aspect of it that is unique and fun to you.
Yeah.
That is obviously safe during this time. But I think that's a huge part of it is find the joy in why you even started that in the first place. Remember why you started. That's why we got a neon sign.
Yeah. So this next one is from Amber. She says, currently, as far as work goes, I'm working from home, so it's not bad there. However, I'm asthmatic, and 2 of my roommates work in hospitals. It's scary for me because if I get it, then it could end up being extremely bad, it being COVID-19, obviously. So as far as workflow, I'm mostly just staying in my room and looking through past concerts I've done and tried to find something to edit. I'm also trying my hand at doing videos for YouTube. The anxiety is there and high, but I just have to make sure I wash my hands constantly and stay away from my roommates.
Wow.
That is scary.
That's a tough one.
That would cause a lot of anxiety. I mean, I'm sure she's delved down this path already, but if there's any way you can stay maybe with someone else in quarantine with them, where, people who don't work at a hospital and just crash there for as long as you can.
Yeah.
I would say maybe that'll help ease some of your anxiety, but
I'm sure you've already explored a lot of those options.
I'm sure you have. But do whatever you can and what's in your control. And then worrying doesn't make it better. And I know that logically, and I have anxiety as well. But you think practically about it and work with what you can control. And I think it's great that you found a task like editing photos from past concerts and you're starting YouTube videos. This is a perfect time to do that. I
think another part of the fear comes from the fact that you might not know what the day-to-day looks like for your roommates. So I would find a way to communicate with them to be like, how in touch are you with COVID-19? Is there a way that we can build a process to which when you come home, maybe you
it's also their
clean the clothes,
responsibility
dispose
to
of the
make
clothes,
it safe for you.
And for them to also communicate why it's a safe environment for them.
Yeah.
So, for example, Becky and Chris, Chris is on the front lines. He's a healthcare worker. Becky's at home. And every time Chris comes back, they have a process of he goes in the garage, cleans himself down, throws the stuff instantly in the washing machine, cleans everything. And so when he enters their household, he is as low
clean
of a
as
chance and as clean as he can possibly be in regards to dealing with COVID-19. So what I would recommend is maybe communicate with your roommates if you haven't done so already to see if there's a way that you can minimize and mitigate the the chances of spreading the virus amongst your household.
Yeah. But also don't forget about the social aspect. Like, it would be weird to live with roommates and not be able to communicate with them or see them at all. So see if there's a way you guys can Skype and like still talk to each other so you don't feel isolated in your own home, because that would,
That'd be the worst.
The mental aspect of this is something we need to be aware of too. Christopher.
Hi.
Another Christopher.
Great name.
What's hard for me right now, along with the increasing amount of people getting COVID-19, is the amount of crime and mental health issues that are increasing everywhere because of the virus. That's funny that I just said that. I work in a police department for a hospital. Interesting. Which means I get the best of both worlds. And let me tell you, my creative flow, if you can call it that, is a bit on hold. For one, my brain hurts after work. And second, mostly everything is closed. So for now, when I do get home, I attended YouTube University and Google State Online Campus, wink, wink, and try to learn what I can about photography. Also, to everyone here, I wish you the best of health for you and your families. Stay safe out there. That's really nice. What a unique perspective.
Yeah.
Wow. Props to you, man. That's amazing.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, we're all looking for an escape. It's like, hey, we're done work. Let's go do something fun. Oh, wait, what? So you're not alone in that.
Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow, and we're like, what do we do?
I'm trying hard to make it good.
Yeah, and we're like, I get it.
hard.
Like, things are on pause, and that's okay. And accepting that is fine. You know, you can always reschedule that for later. So don't beat yourself up for not feeling creative at this time. I think we already mentioned this earlier in the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's really okay. You're going to have waves. You're going to have days that you feel good and other days that you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when you're in the forefront of all that and experiencing everything coming in. Like, I actually didn't even know that crime had risen. I thought it had lowered based on the stats that I had seen.
I mean, no one's out to see it or to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because part of it is, like, people feel scared to do something if they know a lot of other people are around and there's nobody around.
True. True.
I was thinking about that the other day, and I was wondering whether it had gone up or gone down because of this, and now I know.
Yeah.
Well, just know, Christopher, that you're doing something awesome. So when you're feeling really tired at work, we need you, and what you're doing is important. And just remember that.
You'll have a lot to reflect on after all this. And I think this is going to add even more depth to you as a creative, because you'll be able to look back and you've experienced a lot more in life, and your story is so unique that gives you the opportunity to tell that. Like, one of the most important things that I would say taking away from this is that if you can do this in like a political and safe way, you're the only person that I've seen and heard of who has this story. And I think it's a unique story to tell.
Yeah.
So if you can, I don't know the politics of what it's like working at a bureau or a police station, and how much you can communicate. But if there's a way that you can do it, it'd be interesting to tell these stories right now. I think a lot of people would be, even if you're just doing it to a small community, or you're finding a creative way to tell these stories or your viewpoint through all this, through a creative medium, I think that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Okay, next one is from Jasmin. I have not worked in over 2 weeks as I work at Best Buy. I feel unmotivated and uninspired as nothing is happening for that long time period. Oh, for this long time period, she means the next few months. And I do not know when I'll be able to go and work again. Everyone here is always in the house, and I feel like there is no creative ideas I can work with. I'm currently working on my website, which will serve as a portfolio. I have started editing a video that I shot the content for around Christmas 2017, but never came around to editing as I feel like it isn't worth much. I'm also looking through past shoots to try and find any images I could edit or re-edit. So I think you got the right idea. It is hard being in the house with everyone that you live with all the time.
Yeah. And everyone's energy is so different, and not everyone's going to understand your creative energy and the flow and the things that you're going to want. So you're battling a lot of things on different fronts.
Yeah.
You're going to have to battle the people who are in your way in the house. You're battling a lot of like your own personal, feelings towards certain things. I mean, as a reminder, I think there are a lot of different ways to be creative around the house, and although you might be feeling like that, I think this is a great chance to exercise, trying to create something small, like do a photo shoot yourself in the house. If you have people.
Which I did the other day.
Lizzie did. Again, Lizzie, I did a whole video on miniature photography. There's stuff on macro. I think the home is a place that a lot of people relate to. And I think there's a lot of stories that you could tell that
even
would
if it's
speak
not
to people.
The best thing you've ever shot.
Yeah.
Who cares? Just do it anyways.
I know. I would say that I get caught up in that a lot too, is that I always think that things have to be amazing and have to be perfect.
Because we get torn apart. Like, don't forget, if you're not on YouTube or, you know, like Chris and I have, I'm not saying like we have it so much worse than you, but I'm saying like we feel a lot of pressure when we.
There's another layer of pressure.
There's another layer of pressure where it's not only just like I feel responsible for it being really good, it's like I'm going to get ripped apart if it's not good enough. And I want other people to think it's good because that's like important for our careers.
Yeah.
So, but if you're at home experimenting during this and trying to improve your skills, oh my God, just like the risk is so low.
Yeah.
You get excited, like in your bedroom, in your living room, if there's a place, and like with everyone else being in the house, I think it's important for families right now to communicate about everyone, you know, holding your, what was the term we used the other day? Like protecting our energy. And it sounds really airy-fairy now that I'm saying it out loud. But it's important because if you're in a good mood and someone else is in a bad mood, it just takes them saying one thing to ruin your day. And it's so hard to stay positive right now. So having a conversation with everyone you live with or whoever you're quarantined with, self-isolating with, it's important to have that conversation and to talk about how you guys can make the best use of your space and wherever you live and give each other your private time. But also, if you do have a space where you can get outside and keep that safe distance from other people and you're allowed to go outside, I know some places you're not allowed to go outside right now, then I would encourage you to do that for at least an hour because that's going to make you feel free and give your mind some space and for you to like tap into yourself and not feel so cluttered and oppressed. And it'll allow you to get more creative.
Another part of it too is that I think it's easy when we're in a world where other people will be like, all right, I need you to do this and I need you to do this. And you have this structure where maybe there's someone being like, all right, we need X, Y, and Z from you. You deliver on them and you wait for the next task.
Like I do well with structure.
Yeah.
I do well with like a half structure, half lenience kind of thing.
And all of a sudden you've just become your own boss, which is something you might not have experienced before. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you have to hold yourself accountable. So when you're typically working in a traditional business environment, you're working, someone's telling you what to do, you do the thing, and then you're rewarded. In your case, you know, you're now at home and you have to be like, okay, today I just need to practice and go and shoot something. And it could not be great. And the reward will be that I've learned something. Mm-hmm. So you have to now be your own boss and try to build structure into your own life so that you can start going through the exercises so that will build and inspire creativity. Because I think once you start moving and you start creating, it makes it easier to start creating. It's like when you want to, when you go to start working out, you're like, oh, the first minute sucks. And then like the second minute's not as bad. And then you're like, oh, I'm kind of into this now. It's the same as being an artist or a creative or a photographer. Like once you start shooting, you're like, oh, actually, this would be cool here. Ooh, I found this. Actually, this is awesome. Look at the dust on the window. The dust kind of looks like this. Mm-hmm. And you just start shooting. And like, so I think the act of starting and the act of being your own boss and building structure are very fundamental to being creative during this time frame.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is, don't underestimate what you are getting done. It's so important to add in some time during the day to reflect on not just how you're feeling, but what you have gotten done maybe that day or that week and some of the things you want to do or you want to start going forward. And tuning in with yourself and doing that is you're gonna feel rewarded and feel like you're accomplishing things and not like you're just existing. And it's hard when we don't feel like we're going around and like physically moving places because sometimes like just going to a place makes you feel like you did something. and we can't go to the place to do the thing.
No.
We have to stay at home. So you have to be much more conscious of what you are getting done, whether it's cleaning the kitchen or baking bread or like whatever, or trying, like spending an hour watching photography videos and learning and taking notes. Like those are all accomplishments.
Yeah.
So track those and you'll feel more like you're moving through life and getting things done, accomplishing things.
Rocking and rolling.
That would be my advice, because I don't journal, but I do keep a list of what I'm doing, what I want to do, all
Lizzie's
of those
way
things.
better at it than I am.
And it makes me feel so much better. So.
I always feel like I'm behind, even though I'm
Well,
ahead.
I just bought Chris the planner that I use. It's called a Full Focus Planner. I've
Is
said
that
it like
my
1,000
birthday
times.
present?
I'm not sponsored by them at all, but they should give me a code because all I do is talk about them. But yes, I got it for you as a birthday present. And it's on its way.
That's so exciting. Thank you, dear.
Next one.
Yep.
We're almost done. Not really, but we're kind of almost done.
Keep
Not
going.
really. Marta, it's tough. This has not only affected my plans in starting the process to find a job, but also my ambition and mental state to be productive. I feel a little bit blocked because I can't use my computer since my father brought his computer that has a virus that can pass to my computer. Oh, that sucks. It's tough fighting against your mind to be productive, but to be calm and just enjoy it at the same time. Okay, I get where she's coming from. She just feels like, what's the point? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I have nothing to do. Like, she's kind of where we were a couple weeks ago, where we were like, what do we have to look forward to?
Yeah.
And because everything we had to look forward to changed. And the second that Chris and I started to actively change our mentality and really wrapping our heads around that this is our new normal and we have to make plans within the confines of this and find new things to look forward to within the confines of this. And I'm just planning everything going forward as much as like not till next year, but I'm planning for potentially the end of the summer in my head, as this is going to be what things are like. And my mom and I are probably going to our cottage at the beginning of June. We're so super lucky that we have a cottage.
Yeah.
But we can't go for the next 2 months because it's not winterized. So I'm really looking forward to going in June. You have to start making some kind of plan to do something
And
to
give yourself
celebrate something.
100%.
Yeah, you've got to it's hard thinking that, I can't do any of the things I was supposed to. No, you can't.
And so a lot of people are in the exact same boat.
Yeah, a lot of other people are in the exact same boat,
whole
but that doesn't
world.
mean there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Not at all. Just start thinking of, okay, what can I do now? And that's exactly what we've done is I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to make sure that my backdrop in the office is amazing. I can get everything mailed to me. So now I'm not going to go to stores. Everything's going to be shipped to me and I can still do that.
Yeah.
We can, if you need something painted in the house, I'm sure you can get that done. I'm sure you have paint lying around. You can, you know what I mean? Like there's things to do.
Yeah.
So try not to sit for too long and kind of mope over the fact that everything you had, you don't have now. And then just move on because you're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, accepting that this is the new normal and getting there as quickly as possible so that you can start finding other things to look forward to is extremely extremely important.
The word I wanted to say was mourn, not mope. Anyways.
Isn't that what a boat does?
Mourn or mope?
I'm just joking.
No, mope's a word.
No,
like, I'm moping around.
No, moping's definitely a word. I'm saying
I'll fight you.
Mooring is what a boat does.
Mooring is what a boat does, yeah. Okay. Anne, I find my creativity has been flowing a little easier now that I'm slowing down because of the stay-at-home orders. My mom's business had to close for the next few weeks, so I've been helping her make videos for her shop to keep people interested.
Aww.
Exclamation point. Go, Anne. It's still scary to go out, and we try to limit how much news we watch, but we're trying to find some positives in having to remain home. A positive is definitely having more family time and more time to dedicate to some creative projects. 100% Anne. Go Anne.
That's awesome.
Love Anne.
I think perspective is so huge.
Yes.
Right? Because
Absolutely.
I think it's easy to get caught up in like, look at what's gone versus like, look at what I now have.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think Anne has a really good perspective on all of that. Also, it's really rad that she's like helping her mom too.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I think there's a lot of, it's not just businesses, but I think it's
going to be great for her business when she's done. She's going to have all these examples of work.
And then her mom's going to have all these videos.
And her mom has all these videos so the family makes more money. It's great. It's genius.
It's sick.
Anne. Go Anne.
Go Anne. Be Anne. This is Anne. Imagine a photo of Anne. Be like Anne.
Be like Anne. So this is from Russell. And this is a little bit sad. It's a lot sad.
I think I remember reading this one.
And I actually have talked with Russell a few times. He's been helping me get set up on my live streams because it's really hard, okay? And I didn't know how to do it. And Russell's been really nice. And he's a really cool guy. He is actually sending some N95 masks over to Chris of Becky and Chris, which is super, super nice and generous of them. He took the extras that he had because Chris Nichols mentioned that he hasn't seen N95s in his workplace for quite some time. So that's going to be great. They're going to have 40 new masks. So Russell, this is what Russell says. I've had 7 friends pass away from this, and another 5 still have it. It's been life-altering.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I think we all know that based on all of the new laws, regulations, rules that are in place now, that this is serious. But especially for you guys listening, because I know that our demographic is, most of you are between 25 to 35. And we are well known as being the carriers of this because a lot of us feel invincible and we may not show symptoms of it, or we may just think we have a cold. But we spread it to somebody else who is immunocompromised, who is older, but not even that. There are a lot of stories I'm reading now of young people who should not be getting as sick as they are and are being hospitalized, and some are passing away. So know that we are all responsible for keeping people alive. We're all responsible for keeping each other's family and friends safe, and taking all the precautions that we can. But don't be overly scared and don't be overly sad. Continue with your life as much as you can.
Everyone's impacted in different ways, and I think that's a very unique situation that is obviously sounds very, very impactful. And I don't want to say like, don't treat it seriously, treat it very, very seriously. But on the brighter side, there's a lot of people that we even know within our network who got it and have recovered from it.
Yeah,
so,
and did not get very
sick from it. So I do not treat it seriously.
Okay.
But at the same time, don't let it impact you too emotionally.
Yes.
Because there's always different sides to it. And I think that's always important to remember.
Be cautious, but the mental health aspect of all of this is something we do need to pay attention to. And I read an article the other day about SARS and the impact the self-isolation had. It was a harder time because people didn't have Zoom or Skype or FaceTime, and so when they were self-isolated, they could call people on the phone. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
So anyways, it was just interesting. So they were foreshadowing the effect that this social distancing was going to have on people right now. And
if anything, though, it's still a better time for this to have happened in our generation because we have all those things. Because we have all those things. So it's like...
But at the end of the day, like there's so many resources available to you to take control of your mental health, to not let this be super overwhelming mentally. Like BetterHelp is offering a free month right now.
Yep.
all the yoga apps are free right now. I'm sure there are a bunch of meditation ones that are free for the next month.
There's pretty much every business has some sort of COVID-19 promotion that is allowing you to either get the app for free, things at discount. Taylor Guitars has a whole thing where like you buy a guitar, you get a second one free, so you can play with like your quarantine people.
Be in control of your mental health and don't get too freaked out by this, but be safe physically. That's all we're trying to say.
100%.
Okay, so we've got some videos. This one is from Kieran.
Hey guys, Kieran here. I do sports broadcast for a university. So sporting events and events in general are obviously one of the first things to get cancelled because of coronavirus. So it's been quite a couple of weeks for us, unfortunately. But I've been busy with watching Netflix and some personal projects that I'm working on. So that's how I've been keeping busy. It's actually my birthday tomorrow on the 27th.
Ooh, happy
so that
birthday.
should be interesting as well.
Belated.
Anyways, hope you guys are safe. Stay home. Wash your hands.
That's great.
That was awesome.
Go Kieran.
Go Kieran.
Go Kieran. We've watched a lot of Netflix too. Netflix is great. But we limit ourselves to like one show a day now.
Yeah, we're trying to watch a lot of Masterclass right now. So one of the things that we're doing is we bought a subscription to Masterclass so that we could actually spend some time learning from some of these amazing pros in the industry, which has actually been pretty great, which we should do again.
Yeah.
We did one on cocktails. Lizzie made me an amazing cocktail. She's going to make me another one for my birthday.
Yeah. Do I have to come up with something new or do you want a margarita?
No, just make a margarita. It's great.
Well, I bought Aperol, so I can make an Aperol spritz.
Ooh, let's do that.
But I can do it tonight to make sure you like it.
Yeah. Do that tonight.
Because I don't think you know what they are.
No, try it. Whatever. I'm excited. It's a drink.
Ooh, okay. All right.
We have another video here.
We have another video. I'll play it now.
Hey, Lizzie and Chris. So talking about the COVID-19 and how it has kind of affected my workflow and just my life. I'm actually a student at a polytechnic school in Calgary. All of my classes have been moved to online, which has been really challenging. But one of the advantages is that suddenly now I'm working at home and doing video, which is really what I want to do in the long term. And so, it's given me the opportunity to really understand what I actually want to do and, learn things that I need to work on, but also I find myself doing video instead of homework all the time because I just love the video side so much more. It's just so much more enjoyable. So it's been kind of a confirmation for me that is what I want to do. And it's really helped me to kind of learn that, and it actually gets me more excited. I love working from home now. So although there is a lot of, I think it's really a hard time for me as well in certain areas, like just finances and stuff. And for a lot of people, it's been a really hard time. I've seen actually a lot of really good things come out of it, which has been really cool. So thanks for hearing me, and I will see you guys later.
I think what he said is perfect. Like seeing this as much as you can as an opportunity, rather not COVID, self-isolation and social distancing as an opportunity to focus on something else you really wanted to do, which I think he's doing perfectly.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hard for me to have like a comment here because everyone's like life is so different and unique. I think
it is. We're moving away from a lot of what we know, but we can focus on some of these other things like we haven't really been able to. Like you read something the other day that I think you should mention now.
What was it?
About you read me that little quote.
Oh, like that Facebook post about how I can try to find it. I'll search for it right now. But one of the things that I think I really enjoyed about that last video was the fact that he has something that he's looking forward to as well, and that he is finding joy and leaning in that joy during this time, rather than being like, oh, I can't go and do this now. Like he gets to do something else in return, which I think is so important. And I think if you have any like little glimpse of joy in your life, like unpack that and try to see if you can discover more of it during this time because it's so important. I'm going to look up this quick little thing. 1 second here.
While Chris is doing that, I just want to talk for 1 second about mindset and your happiness and your productivity is in your control. Obviously, if you're struggling with some mental health issues, then you should talk to a professional about that. I do. I have medication that I take, but I do know that it is within my control to get a handle on it and to tune in with myself when I'm not feeling good and to try my best to change my mindset to think of things in a more positive light. So anything negative that happens, I try to see, okay, why was this put in my path and what have I learned from it? You know, what is the opportunity in staying at home all the time? What can I make good out of this? Because there's, you know, life is, I'm going to sound airy-fairy. Life really is amazing. Just being alive is a huge gift.
Yeah.
Just being able to be the cluster of cells that formed a human. You're so lucky just to be alive and to sit outside and drink a coffee is all you need to make you happy if you can really appreciate it. You don't need a lot of fancy things. So that's my preface into what you're going to read.
I think this is a good transition. Okay. I'm just prefacing also, it's a little airy-fairy, but if you take it for what it is actually really nice.
Chris and I keep saying that because we're not airy-fairy people.
We're scared of the airy fairies.
We're scared of the airy fairy.
No. Scary, but so true. Traffic is gone. Long lines are gone to a degree. Gas is affordable. Bills are extended. Kids are at home with their families. Parents are at home taking care of their children. Families are spending time and talking with each other. Homeless are being cared for. There's less crime, less conflict and wars. Fast food replaced by home-cooked meals. Hectic schedules replaced by naps. The air seems cleaner, the world quieter. People are conscious about hygiene and health again. Money doesn't seem to make the world go round anymore. And now we have time, finally, to stop and smell the roses. It seems like COVID-19 is a reset button for humanity. I think that's like a very interesting thing that's being shared around the internet right now because it's one, reminding us to be grateful about a lot of things, and that two, some of the simple things that we always crave for, we finally have.
Exactly.
Be interesting to see what happens after all this. I have some predictions that a lot of business is going to shift to online. Like, I think...
Yeah, that hasn't... I mean, for us... We have noticed that the sponsorship opportunities that we're getting are lower initially, but I think that will change.
Yep.
And it's not that there are fewer though.
No.
I did have one company pull out of a deal with me, but granted it was one they offered the week before, so it was like kind of going pretty fast paced, and then I was still bummed about it because it was a really good rate, and then it went down to like it not existing at all.
Yeah.
So that has happened. But that's the coolest part about working for yourself is there is some security in that you haven't lost your job because you give yourself the job. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we didn't get laid off. It's up to us to decide how we're going to make our income, how much money we're going to make, and that's relying on how hard we work. Yes, there are some things in our way right now. Will this be as successful of a year as we thought it was going to be financially? Maybe not. But I had a conversation with my mom and I said, and because when I said that, she was like, oh, are you going to be okay? And I said, no, it's me making this 6-figure amount versus this other 6-figure amount. Yeah. I'm going to be fine. And she went, oh, okay, you're fine.
Yeah. It's that you just had expectations of it being
exactly
a certain type, which again, we still don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know what it's going to be like. You could still have your best year or make that, who knows? But I think it's the fact that there was higher chances and projections of that being like that. But everyone's going through the same thing. But one of the things that I feel like I'm pretty grateful for is the fact that our businesses can pivot so quickly and we can take on something like this that has happened. So not as only is that because of the space that we're in, but also because we have a very small team that can just be like, all right, let's do this now.
Well, we're pivoting in terms of the content we're making, but our business as a whole is an online business.
Yeah.
So, and as you can see, we have not stopped working.
No.
We are still making money.
Yep.
And in just saying that just shows so much about working for yourself and owning an online business.
Yep.
And not just being in the photo or video space, but building websites. Why am I not thinking of any other ideas? Courses.
There's so many things.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do in an online business. If you're selling a particular product, people are still getting things shipped to their home.
Yep.
So we're still operating. End of story.
Yeah.
So I think, the longer that this goes on, less money is probably moving around. Not
For
probably.
now.
Less money is moving around for now. But where is it moving to? Where is the marketing still happening online? Who's promoting things online? Creators.
Yeah. And if anything, the marketing budget, I think Q2 is going to be interesting because we just started it. And this is like week 1 is when like game planning happens. Week 2 is when like interests start going out. So like I'm thinking that at least in our space, all the money that people had allocated for like concerts, venues, marketing for this, like all that got pulled out. So now it's going to get shifted into other places.
Yeah. And the other thing is that's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And yes, they may take that, like, let's just say it's $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm just blurting out a random number. Say it's $1 million.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, okay, let's maybe only put out like 500,000 of it now, but we'll put it all online. That's still $500,000 that's now being shifted into my field of work.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to go there before.
So, and I would say that if you are a videographer, photographer, editor, whatever your creative skill set is, a lot is shifting into the online space. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you if you can find ways to shoot what you need at home. Not every story needs to be told from like going out in the world and doing this. Like you can shoot a lot of what you need to at home. So if you can beef up your studio or your space or the gear that you have and stock footage, you can make things happen. So again, it's like you with anything in life, especially on the business side, when one thing happens in the world, it opens up opportunity for other people. So there are people who are literally winning from some of the stuff that's going on right now with self-isolation. So there are companies that are winning from self-isolation, and then there's other companies that are not. And it's up to you to find those markets, and it's up to you to do the research to find a way to make money when the market is so volatile and can change so quickly. And that's not just saying self-isolation. That's information to keep in mind in the future too, because things change so quickly.
The other thing to keep in mind when you're starting your own business is and finding a field that's secure during something like this or a different kind of crisis that could come up in the future. My mom, of course, it's everyone's mother that comes to you and they're like, but what if this happens? But what if this happens? And my mom's like, but what if, the Canadian economy and this happens and then you're screwed? And I said, well, this doesn't apply to COVID-19, but I said, well, Mom, I have an international business. I have a lot of work in the US and I have a lot of work coming in from different tourism boards all around the world. So I'm not, you know what I mean? My business won't suffer that much. I'll still be able to make an income. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They think, oh my gosh, there's no stability in your business. There's no stability. Okay, so maybe I'm not getting my standard salary every year.
You're guaranteed.
Say it's $80,000. I'm not getting my guaranteed $80,000 every year. But what if some years are $200,000, $250,000, and then one year I make $40,000, next year I make $100,000, next year I make $150,000? What's the big deal?
Yeah, and the general rule when you're doing your own business is that mostly it's on a gradual upturn.
Yeah, it would never go from 250 down to 40,000.
I think, and a really good thing to keep in mind too, and this was really helpful to me when I was starting out, is that I knew that everything would level out when you really add all the numbers in. Like, what's your actual median? So let's say over 10 years, your first year is 20,000, second year is 30,000, the year after that's 50,000, and then all the way up until 200,000. Add up all those numbers together and then divide it by 10. Guaranteed, your average salary, your mid salary is $100,000.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
And I'm still getting all the benefits, the tax benefits of owning my own business.
And freedom.
And freedom to travel, to do the work I'm enjoying. You know, don't, it's still, I don't know. I don't want to sound offensive, but it still like boggles my mind sometimes that people think that working for someone else is more secure because it's not. Look how quickly people were fired because of this.
Yeah, over 1 million people are on EI in Canada.
Yeah. How long do we think that's going to last?
I don't know.
So what we're trying to say is, as far as creators and owning an online business and being self-employed with your online business. I'm not saying you have a storefront and all of those things. That's different. But I think we'll be okay.
Yep.
Chris and I are right now, touch wood, we're okay.
Yep.
And that's our best guess.
Yep.
From over here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Like, who'd you become there? Toronto, Ontario,
and
Canada.
That's us reporting from Toronto. Well, I just want to be clear that it's our opinion. Like, we don't know.
It is our opinion,
anything.
and we've had good positive experiences. But we could deep dive forever. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. We hope you're safe. Please wash your hands and do your part to keep our world healthy. Love you guys.
Bye.